I was one, but now we are many. We all agree on one thing. To sail the coast. Hunt down those lizard trinkets. And we will find them. We will put ourselves back together. Fortune favors the infamous.
Hello guys, we are back again, starting a new campaign, this time as Luthor Harkon, playing as the Vampire Coast. I selected this because they're another army that hasn't really changed too much in the Total War 2 to Total War 3 conversion, although they have changed more than the Bretonnians, and we will see all those changes. As for game settings this time, I'm doing pretty much everything I did last time. Legendary very hard, AI stats modifier all the way up. The only thing I'm changing is I won't be playing on Iron Man mode. I felt like it didn't really add much to the playthrough for Bretonnia, and it really just caused some problems. If I was ever to lose recording, yeah, I couldn't go back and get the the footage again because I couldn't save. So, I mean, I could do some save scumming, but I'll try to keep that to a minimum, if at 0. Alright, well, let's get into it. Okay, for turn 1, we have quite a bit to go over. The Vampire Coast as a faction has changed in mostly their economy. Their units really haven't changed too much. But since I've played, their economy, especially their land economy, their buildings, are pretty bad. So in a few of my practice runs, I've learned to not really build these buildings. You don't really want to focus on land economy. Instead, you want to focus on kind of like being a horde and running around and getting all your money from sacking and selling settlements. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. The other really important thing to start my game is that I have lords rather, that have good traits. These traits can be pretty impactful for the Vampire Coast. And we got an Intringent, and yeah, that's really good. Although I believe that this is kind of bugged, like you don't actually gain loyalty from doing ambushes, but we'll see. And then we also got a Murderer, which is the other thing we want. So those are the two traits I was looking for, and I was really looking for them on the Lore of Vampires. I really like the Lore of Vampires. I think it's the best. I do like the Lore of the Deep, and a lot of people only do Lore of Vampires, but Lore of the Deep is, I also think, is quite good. So if I see any Lore of the Deep vampires that are great, I'll grab them. Lore of the Death for Vampire Coast, I don't really like. It doesn't give you enough, like, basically, you can't make summons to slow down the enemies or use like AoE spells to slow, and then also, you know, Lore Vampire heals your guys. So these two I think are great. This one I don't think is as good with the because it provides a lot of damage, but you don't really need that. You need the utility. And then let's quickly go over how we're going to build. So we're actually going to pretty much just be building some growth in here, and then maybe either control or vampire corruption. Everything else we're not going to really build. If you notice that their plunder pile, it only generates 100 gold per turn, and then it also gives you a little bit more gold from if you get enough of them to activate the right. It's about an extra, I think, 30 gold per turn if you're doing this right on cooldown, but we can't even do the right until I believe we have 3 plunder piles, so we'll need 3 capitals before we can even do that, because you can only build this in the capital. But you'll notice that it would take roughly 11-ish turns to pay itself off right now. That's a pretty bad income building if it's taking 11 turns to pay itself off. Like, I might build some just to kind of, you know, smooth out my income, but it's not a priority for me even slightly. Instead, my priorities are going to be, like I said before, my ship building,
Luthor,
which is a very big deal.
Harkon.
So we're going to be focusing on building up our ship, and we're actually going to be starting off with the anchor, or the heavy ballast, which gives us more pirate crew growth, because we are trying to rush our way up to tier 5 and unlock everything as quickly as we can. It's going to be very expensive, as you can see that it now requires 16 population surplus to get the tier 5, and a whopping 20,000 gold. So we're going to need to find ways of all that. But there are ways of reducing upkeep by quite a bit in Vampire Coast, so that's great. Let's go ahead and look at our trait. We got Lore Keeper. That is actually a fairly decent trait. It doesn't help us out too much in the early game, but as soon as we get access to some Winds of Magic to for this first army, that will be great, because this does provide quite a bit of wins for the army. And the barrier hit points are also nice. You can do a lot of funny stuff with that. We also start off with this ancillary, which gives some melee defense for our guys. It's okay. We are going to go ahead and try to crush these filthy mutineers. Before that, we are going to recruit some basic guys. We're not going to recruit the Bloody Boy yet, and we're not going to recruit this. These will help us out in the fight, so we're going to recruit them. Just make the fight a little bit easier. Alright, well, let's get into it. So here we are, the opening shots of the first battle. Fighting against these mutineers. My mortars getting some early chip damage in there. The AI on legendary difficulty is quite good at dodging. I didn't do anything fancy with my formations, just a simple line. You don't need to get too crazy. This is a fairly easy fight. Putting Luthor Harkon out here to hopefully soak some damage and maybe get some early kills. He's not the best legendary lord, especially before his mind is put back together. The gunnery right also out here, single entities, soaking with some damage. And then on this flank we have my zombie deckhands and my monstrous infantry. I kind of group them up. These monstrous infantry are not the best, so it's a bit bitter hit or miss. But here they are soaking some bombs, and actually they don't really take that much damage, to be honest, from these bomb attacks as much as I thought they would be, which is great because these are my least important units. I don't need them for damage. I'd rather them get hit than my gun units, who actually do all my damage. But mostly just them running into my gun line and getting shot to pieces. I do a nice flank over here with my scurvy dogs. Getting onto some of their own guns. Hopefully not hitting my own guys with mortar fire. Shot was pretty close. It's actually 2 units here, and I was targeting the unit that wasn't in combat with the dogs, so hopefully not blowing up. Some deck droppers overhead. And really, the only big challenge is their not their legendary lord, but their vampire lord. Even just regular vampire lords are pretty hard to take down. I don't have a lot of good single entity damage besides all my guns, and if I can't, I don't want to focus all of my guns on them in the beginning, so now I'll be locked in melee with the rest of his army. So I need to kind of just tank him with the zombies for a while until Luthor Harkon can get over and maybe deal some damage. Luthor Harkon like cycles through different phases, and right now he's not in a very good melee phase, so he's not the best melee combatant. but he can come and help out. The vampire keeps getting knocked around so much I keep losing track of him. There he is. So yeah, he just keeps getting cycled, knocked down. Over here, the deck bombers did go for a just suicide run on my artillery. It didn't really end up doing much damage, and none of the artillery were really hurt. Okay, that first battle went pretty well. We took very little damage on any of our important units. Took a little bit of damage on these gunnery mobs, but it's fine. They're pretty expendable. And we did get a very nice drop of the Armor of Destiny. That is, we are hitting the ground running with this campaign, absolutely. So I am, money is super important, and we are going to take it, even though it's only 285 gold. We are absolutely going to take it. Yeah, getting the Armor of Destiny on Luthor is pretty nice.
Luthor.
So we're going to go ahead and invest points. We're going to go heavy into the blue tree. Go into training.
Speak up.
And then we are going to encircle Pox Marsh here. And before we attack, we are going to recruit a Lord, so he can also get in on the action. We're going to do this one first. I hope that the loyalty rolls pretty high. Let's see. 3. Okay, it's not the worst it could have been, but it's not the best either. But this guy's going to be up to quite a bit of shenanigans here in the upcoming turns. And then we can go ahead and assault. So let's go ahead and fight this battle. Should be fairly straightforward. The first settlement that will fall, taken by these dirty mutineers. This is, again, a pretty straightforward fight. Nothing too fancy here. I can just set my guys up in a basic line and watch as the enemy walks into it. They don't even have much range. They only have 1 unit of handgunners and 1 unit of bombers. That's all I really gotta watch out for. One thing I do like about the Vampire Coast most of all is their theming. They have absolutely top-tier theming. They do have a lot of problems with their faction right now, I believe, but their theming is incredibly well done. They really do feel like a zombie pirate force. Spellbats coming under fire, and they're going to be shredded pretty quickly. They don't stand really a chance against my gun line. Spellbats can be a bit annoying. The AI sometimes uses them well. Here they're not using them too great, just going straight into my front lines at a very slow pace. Again, I like to stack my monstrous infantry with zombies to kind of absorb some of the damage. Because these guys, if they get shot... Sorry about my bad camera work. These monstrous infantry, if they get shot, they die very, very quickly. Even by just simple pistols, they're going to get shredded. So you really do need to try to protect them. There's such big hitboxes, and even when they're in these zombies, they can still take a ton of damage. I won't be recruiting too many of them. My own deck droppers. Flank around to the side here. Getting some damage off on these handgunners. Scurry dogs coming in with the charge. Scurvy dogs are actually a fairly decent early game unit. I don't like them in the late game that much. There's things that do their job much better, but in the early game, I actually do think that they're fairly good. Having a few units of them, I'm never unhappy to see them in the raised bed, at least in the very early game. Okay, another straightforward battle, and we're going to do something that we're going to do not too often, which is not sack this place. We're going to occupy. This city actually has a fort, which is one of the few ways we can actually make decent income, and I don't want it destroyed. And now we got some just minor housekeeping we're going to do, so we are going to upgrade this to get that pirate growth. We are going to recruit.
Crazy, not stupid.
2 more zombie. Put this into replenishment.
All bones on deck.
You unfortunately didn't get a level. And then over here we are going to build the growth. You know, I don't think it's that important. I don't think we're going to have the money. I think we're going to bottleneck on the money before the growth here. So we're actually not going to build anything here. Now, in order to complete my long objectives, I do need to build this building, which you only start building once you're at tier 5 because it actually provides negatives when it's here, and it only takes 1 turn. So for 12 turns, you're going to be getting all these buildings negatives. But this provides some faction-wide buffs, which is nice, but it also allows you to rebuild Luthor Harkon's fractured mind, which in order to do that, you need to do his quest battles, you need to build this building, and then you also need to, I believe, collect all the pieces of 8. Which... yeah, it's here. The pieces of 8. So we need to go and fight each one of these pirates out here and collect all of them to get the pieces of 8. That reminds me, yes, we need to dig for treasure. This is a free 2,000 gold. We're not going to be digging for much treasure either. It's kind of a mechanic that it doesn't pay to go out of your way to do many of the times. And then we are going to grab salvage cruise for our starting tech. We're going to be going down this tree. We're going to be kind of grabbing some of these easy to get starter technologies before we get some of the ones that I think are more important. Like Marine's upkeep is very nice in the early game, and then eventually getting things like enduring animations, or enduring reanimations rather, for your Colossus and bigger monsters upkeep is great. And of course we're going to have to go into here to unlock our other legendary pirate lords eventually. And there's a lot of gunnery stuff we can grab from this tree, which we're going to be making detours. So we're kind of going to be jumping all over the place. Also, this, the Carpenter, which reduces the construction costs by 50% for your ship, can actually save you a decent amount of gold, because as you can see, the cost for these can be fairly expensive. So sometimes that can be your only real way of building it. So it's not a terrible technology to grab. But yeah, we're going to start working our way to completing this province. We're not going to be doing a lot of empire building this game, but we're going to be doing some.
I am listening.
Turn 2, all we're going to do is
The dead walk.
move our forces as close as we can.
Move, scum. Crazy. Not stupid.
We're again going to be prioritizing these blue trees to start. Grab his utility. Let's check the raised dead. I'm always looking to see if there's extra handgunners. Don't really need to recruit any more zombies.
All bones on deck.
And yeah, we're going to be sitting on pretty much nothing over here. We can actually go ahead and demolish that for some extra money. I know it seems weird leaving all this stuff undeveloped, but it's just really not... I haven't really found it worth it to build. And early game money is going to become very, very tight. So anything that we can save up is for the best. If these zombies were at their cap, which is 5, I would recruit some just to get their, you know, to have more available. But we don't need to do that, so we're not going to waste the money.
Mind rages.
Right, now we can
Lay
finally
them to
encircle
waste.
the last city of the province, and they did choose to stay and fight. They don't often do that. Oftentimes they will run. And we will go ahead and recruit yet another lord, and we already know which one we're going to grab. Ooh, there's a melee murderer as well. But let's go ahead and grab... we'll grab... I think actually I'm going to grab the melee murderer. Yeah, I know that... Wow, that's pretty good RNG. These are some good traits. So let's go ahead and get the... I like the murderer because it reduces the enemy leadership. So even if the lord isn't really doing anything, it's still contributing to the battle, even if they don't have an army. And then also, they're very easy to get their loyalty up. So you never really have to worry about their loyalty. This trait is much harder to get its loyalty up. We'll see.
Pick your guts up.
It is time.
Get all the lords involved to start farming thing. Now I could auto-resolve, but I would end up with some losses, but we are going to fight it. It's going to be fairly easy. All we have to really worry about is this bloated corpse not killing us, and then the lord. She is a... yeah, just deep, so there's not really much danger here. Alright, let's get into it. Another fairly easy sweep here. Decent money. Now, it can be worth sacking this. I'm not going to, but there is an argument to actually sack this one because it doesn't really provide as much value to you. We're going to put the growth commandment in. The other ones aren't super useful. We got some nice armor. Let's go ahead and fly
Gunnery wide.
our points. This enchanted shield is going to, we'll put it on him.
Curse my
You can
crowd.
have the charging. The Armor of Fortune was a really good pickup, but none of those other ones are that great. It's free handgunners. We will grab them. Fill out his army.
Blood and plunder. Standing by.
And then Johnny
Yes, at
is going to
once.
start recruiting a few of his own. Because we're going to be using him in battle a lot. We're not going to be using Vincent too much to start, but
It's mine.
Johnny is going to be very important. And yeah, see, his loyalty doesn't go up that well with battles. This guy's loyalty is going to fly up whenever he participates in battles, as long as we kill the Lord, which happens all the time. His loyalty is very easy. But for the overall strategy that we're going to go for the campaign map, the Vampire Coast, especially Luthor, is in a bit of a weird spot. So you have to deal with the Lizardmen. They will declare war on you. There's several Lizardmen factions down here, and they all get mad at you because you've got such bad relations with Lizardmen as part of your faction. There's no really way around it. So you do have to deal with them. But there also is some more annoyances. So one is this right here. These high elf anti-pirate force comes out of here constantly. And in order to deal with them, like, finally, you have to go all the way over here to the eastern colonies. There are some sea lanes that you can get to kind of get over here, but it's several turns of just traveling. Like, we're talking like 10-ish turns to get over here from the Awakening, maybe even more. So we're just going to have to deal with the fact that we're constantly being attacked by these high elves for a while. And we're just going to be playing defense as we try to get our initial starting position a little bit more secured. We're actually not going to be focusing on holding a lot of this territory because our buildings are so bad and we don't really need to. What instead we're going to try to do is make friends with the other inhabitants around here. Now, the Lizardmen are a no-go. It's pretty much impossible to make friends with them, even if you give them a lot of gifts. They're going to declare war on you. So we need to take them out. The Skaven are untrustworthy, but you can actually kind of make friends with them. And then there's the Bretonnians over here, and then there's Khorne over here, and then there's some Dark Elves, some Dwarves, and Slaanesh over here. Unless I think there's still some Dwarves over here, but there's definitely the Dark Elves and Slaanesh. And we can kind of make friends with all those people, even the Bretonnians. So we're going to kind of wait to see who wins. Sometimes Khorne wins, sometimes Bretonnia wins over here. And we'll see, and then we'll make friends with the winner. Because we don't really care about any of this land, to be honest. All of our buildings, especially the inland buildings that don't have ports, are pretty bad. It's kind of better just to sack and sell. So that's going to be our major strategy, is going to be sack and sell. We're actually not going to be building any of this stuff until we get to at least tier 3 to unlock our vampire heroes. We are going to 100% focus on that and rush that down. Johnny can actually go ahead and recruit some of these, because we do have another one of these buildings, and we're going to be demolishing that as well. But for one turn, we will make use of it. And again, we build absolutely nothing in our capital. Finished our first technology, and we indeed got a Luckstone, which is, you know, that's pretty good. That's a good gray item. I'm going to go throw that on Luthor. Oh, maybe we actually want to throw it on this guy. He's going to be doing a lot of the battling.
King of the Vampire Coast.
Yeah, we'll give him the Luckstone. He's going to be becoming very important here in a minute. Johnny the Stasher. So we are going to actually move him up in ambush stance to here. I can't get to where I want to get, but you'll see like he has 100% ambush
Luthor
chance up here. And then we're going to bring Luthor up.
The dead walk.
I'm going to give him all of our stuff. Most of our stuff, at least. Here we go. We're going to try to goad the lizardmen out into attacking Luthor, and then we're going to ambush them to make this fight quite a bit easier. In my testing, this isn't 100% consistent. It's not just that they see the ambush, it's just sometimes they don't come out. No matter how appetizing you make your lord, you can have him literally just be a lord in march stance, and sometimes they still will not come out. And then we're going to leave Vincent back here. He's going to play a little dirty trick on the lizardmen next turn. We can't do it this turn. We just do not have the movement to be able to do that. Let's go ahead and check. Always grab these handgunners. They're our bread and butter early game unit. And that's about it. I guess we can look at the private map. And these, they never appear. Like, how am I gonna if I sent someone over there to go dig this treasure up, it would cost me more to pay the guy to go over here and do it than it would be for whatever I get out of this. So absolutely worthless. The treasure map mechanic is not the greatest. Alright, before I hit end turn, I'm actually going to thought about this, and we're going to scout, see. Oh, they actually don't have anyone in here. So we can actually, let's move up with Luthor.
All bones on deck.
He doesn't need to be in ambush.
March, you dead curs!
We still need to leave Vincent back there to do our dirty little trick.
Gunnery white.
And as long as he doesn't declare war on me, we will be good. Cool. Turn 5. And it turns out we don't need the pieces of the 8. All we need to do is the quest for Swan Gold and then build the Ancient Bolt. Personality takes over the coward. That's not what I wanted.
Luthor Harkon.
But it's no matter. Let's go ahead and
All bones on deck.
get another bloaty boy.
All bones on deck.
And Luthor Harkon can get... Let's get some chaff. Shock at the Lizardman. The Lizardman can be kind of annoying to break. Actually gonna have this guy do this. Ooh, I almost forgot my dirty trick. So, what I'm gonna do is prove to the Lizardmen that I cannot be trusted by trading them the settlement. And then they should offer me, yep, a little bit of money. Well, not even a little bit. 3,000 is nothing to scoff at turn 5. And then we are immediately going to backstab them and take the settlement.
Make yourselves at home.
Does cause a little bit of order loss, but we don't really care. We're actually gonna have this guy.
Get them.
I really need to get some loyalty on him. It says Valiant Defeat. Once Luthor gets in, it should be a bit better.
Shot and death.
Actually, I want... I guess you can have the Bloody Boy. Actually gonna grab these two. I'm probably gonna have to throw some, I don't really have any spells or any way of breaking them easily. The auto resolve actually looks pretty good, but this is not a super easy fight because I don't have anything that can really compete in melee, and it's really hard to shoot them. I also have all those javelins, but we are gonna fight it. So this battle begins like a lot of battles, with my lords prying open the doors. And then my strategy was to try to bait them off the walls, and then bring my bloaty boys in. We can see that I have most of my army hidden over here. I'm bringing in my bloaty boys. I also broke down these gates with the dogs over here. That's just so I have a lot of their units tied up over here doing nothing. And they did leave a lot of ranged units. I can't really get my dogs in there because they got so many blockers. But it's not a big deal. This is going to be kind of a grindy battle. The issue being, I can't really go toe-to-toe with melee with any of his units. Even my lords in melee with his basic skinks get really messed up, to be honest. So, right now I'm just baiting them and trying to get them all nice and grouped up. So my bloaty boys can come in and mess them up. Luthor right now is in range personality. I think it's called the Coward. So he's really bad in melee. Trying to keep him out of melee as best I can. I also bring my other vampire lord in, my melee lord. Right here. With full arm. Let's check to see what those bloaty boys... Oh, so the bloaty boys are coming in. Yeah, I was trying not to really hit my lords too badly with them. So I kind of waited for a better time. My lords were in a better position. I was hoping I could run out, but the second I do, they disperse. Which is too bad. So yeah, I pull back and I'm like, okay, I gotta try that again. I'm gonna need my lord in there. And I will be moving the rest of my army up because I'm gonna need it. I can't just win this with my lords. They actually take quite a bit of damage from, yeah, even just that minor fighting. Got some chip damage on them, and they barely fought at all here. Luthor actually kills quite a few guys just by slowly pistoling him down because of this very grindy fight. This is a funny charge. Nice. Yeah, I was hoping to get more guys in. I really wanted these warriors to get in there, but they just didn't want to come in. And I can't, and getting like my lord stuck in a big clump of warriors is not going to work. Here's the first bloody boy, about to give him a nice hug. And that is a lot of dead lizard men. And now you'll see I start bringing up the rest of my army. Trying to get up through here. We've routed some. But yeah, just even with fighting skinks, I'm getting... I've been fighting this one unit, and yeah, I'm not exactly winning against this tier 1 javelin unit. Pretty wild. And him over here, yeah, he starts getting into a lot of trouble. And yeah, I am spamming heals on myself. They've actually taken more damage than it looks. But yeah, with the Saurus Warriors. Oh, I think the second Bloody Boy already went off. The second one, I kind of messed up on. I didn't do that great. So you guys didn't really miss much. But I bring in my flyers because they don't have any range support over here. And yeah, it's mostly just a really grindy type of siege. Because I can't get on the walls, because they'll own me on the walls with anything that I put up there. And I can't really get through the gates because they can block all the gates, and if I go to another gate, they will see me. And they'll just beat me there because they're so fast. And if I split my forces, it doesn't matter because they will stop me at the gates, and they will own pretty much anything that I send in there. The only unit that I have that can kind of fight in melee is the animated Hulks, and those are what I'm going to use. But I do need them to fight in a place where they can't get completely surrounded, because they're big models, so I need them to fight like in these gates, which is why I'm trying to bait these guys in here. Yeah, they occasionally keep getting on the walls. I am going to send some zombies up there to try to stop them from doing it. And I don't care. If I lose a thing of zombies, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, the gunfire onto the walls is just so ineffective. But I got nothing better to do, so... Like, yeah, you'll see very little dead bodies up here. Okay. Trying to soften him up a bit. And I think I send my gunnery right in. Yeah, so I'm trying to get him to tank the charge. Because I want them to get on me. They seem to be very shy. But if they want to stand and take gunfire forever... Oh, and now this is where I want them. And having the gunnery right tank some damage. He does have a barrier. And then eventually I will send in... Yeah, here they come. The Hulks. I think I gave him a Dance Macabre on the way in. And this pretty much spells the end for the lizard men here. I'm able to just kind of grind them down. I have some zombies coming onto the wall slowly over here. It's mostly just as a distraction. They don't really end up doing much. They kind of just sit there. Yeah, the AI is so good at dodging the artillery shots when they're not in combat that it doesn't end up doing a ton on Legendary. In the lower difficulties, they don't dodge as well. But yeah, the mortars are already inaccurate, and the AI is good at dodging. Yeah, I'm just shooting at pretty much nothing. The real fight is just here. And then once I break this, I am able to just run them all down. And it doesn't last much longer. So yeah, that's how I do my first siege. It's very slow, very methodical, but relatively easy, and I take few losses. Okay, wasn't too bad. Took some damage on my lords. Oh, one of the bloaty boys got rezzed. Got 116 kills, pretty nice. Yeah, I don't mind just wasting bloaty boys. It's kind of what their, you know, their job is. Now, I would sack this normally, but I'm going to occupy it, and the reason for that is so this guy gets this buff, share the loot, and I'm going to try to get his loyalty up. I'd like him to get to at least loyalty level 5, so I can put him in a fleet office.
My mind's worn of mutiny.
Ghost Fleet,
Luthor Harkon.
Freebooter,
Gunnery wide.
Training 2, of course, Route Marcher.
Is it time?
What are we waiting for?
I have decided that I'm going to build this. This building pays itself off in 6 turns, which isn't the worst. For income generation, doesn't look like this one would probably be worth it for an extra 100 gold. Unless I'm really swimming in gold and I want income. We are going to go ahead and grab that. Let's see if there's any interesting recruits. I'll grab... the dog's really that good against Lizardmen, but they might be good against Skaven. But I don't need them quite yet. Yeah, none of that's super enticing to me right now.
Standing by.
Just thought I'd check before I leave the region.
No stragglers.
Absolutely no good right in here. Alright, let's go ahead and scout. So he does have an army.
King of the Vampire Coast.
I am going
Impossible.
to try to ambush it.
Waylaying. Onward, crew.
See, he doesn't seem to be able to get loyalty from share the loot either.
Luthor Harkon.
Alright, well, Luthor Harkon, I'm going to put him in March. Just so he looks like better bait. I can't get rid of any of his other units without disbanding them, but he doesn't have a super strong army.
Got your orders. Obey your quartermaster.
He might not come out, but it's okay if he doesn't.
Yes, master.
Alright, I think I might sell this now. To the Bretonians.
I see. We hang our men for their crimes. What do you
I'm not gonna
imagine we
just
do
take
to
it back right
yours?
away. I don't want a military alliance
Let
with
us.
them.
I
just
am
want their
the
money.
Pirate King.
Yeah, I don't need any. Yeah, I don't have 6 quite yet. This would just give me a little bit of army reduction. It doesn't increase your growth, so it doesn't accelerate me towards what I need to be. I'm really trying to get to that tier 3, and then I'll buy some other buildings, and then try to rush to tier 5. So the trap worked. I am going to auto-resolve this, and the reason for that is because I'm not a very fast army, and I don't have overwhelming firepower to just annihilate them. So what will end up happening is they'll run off the map, and I won't get that many kills, and then they'll be able to retreat all the way back to their garrison. Now, it will be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure this is bugged, but if I auto-resolve, I should win this ambush battle. And I have manually fought these in one, and it still didn't go up. We'll see.
Time for battle. Time to feed
I'll even take this. Share the
the
loot,
booty.
which I normally wouldn't do. Okay, it did seem to work this time. Okay, that's good. Yeah, sometimes in the manual battles, it wasn't going up.
Very good.
No, it didn't. It didn't actually go up. It's still at 4. So I thought it went up, but I guess it didn't. So yeah, that's pretty annoying bug. It makes these ambush guys quite a bit harder to use. But now, a settlement is ripe for the taking.
There is little honor amongst vampires.
Oh, actually, don't want sea dogs. Freebooter.
Fall in, deckhands.
So we got some interesting raised dead options here. We got some deck gunners and some bombs. Not gonna grab the Bloody Void just yet. I can always leave him in the wings. Because we have this, the undead, the battle pile.
Seaborn death. Yo.
He's got the level 6, but he still doesn't have enough loyalty to,
Ship shape. The sea brings
to get what I
death.
need. So we're going to go ahead and move him up.
Let Admiral.
Death is at the door.
And him.
Goddamn lights.
That's just an easy auto-resolve. We're going to actually sack.
Yes, master. Slay these cattle.
And occupy. And that's the first lizard, people destroyed.
The Pirate King only knows victory.
So now we have to move on to, Gorok.